And welcome everybody to another episode of Dan-A-Plooza. My guest at this time is a very, very talented lady and performer. Let's give a round of applause for Miss Juicy Jones. Yay! For those watching and future watching, you can check out Miss Juicy Jones at the Burlesque and Chill, the show, like totally, April 23rd. That is a virtual performance. If you want to find out more about that, check out the Burlesque and Chill Instagram page where you can find out more details. You can click on the website, go ahead and get your tickets. It's a whole lot of fun from the virtual realm. And if you are also in person, you want to check out Miss Juicy Jones, make sure that you check out the Burlesque and Chill Whole Lotta Shaken at 3 Clubs, May 13th. And if you want to follow this amazing lady, follow her on the Instagram at Miss Juicy Jones.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's kind of like my radio.
Good job.
Yeah. So, how about we get into some questions?
Okay, cool.
So, what made you decide that burlesque was something that you wanted to do?
So, okay. So I used to be in a band. I used to play banjo, and we were in like
Awesome.
this cabaret rock band, right? And it was great, and I was having a lot of fun. And the band broke up.
Aw.
And I was so bored. And and I needed a creative outlet, and I didn't want to play bluegrass. And I was just like, oh, what am I going to do? And I used to be a stripper for 15 years, back in the 80s and 90s, and that was my jam. So I knew that that when I had kind of started thinking about burlesque and went to see a show, I was like, yeah, this is my jam. Like I can do this. And taking my clothes off was not giving me an issue for me. It wasn't like I was like, oh, I've got to discover myself and empower myself. It wasn't more like that. It was more like I just needed a a creative outlet, which burlesque really helped me to do because it's so much more about character creation and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we're very glad that you found that, and that I know it's a passion of yours. And from what I've seen, you bring a lot of character and a lot of entertainment throughout your virtual realm and performances.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I mean the virtual realm is so, I started burlesque like a few months before the shutdown, right? So
Right.
what do? Go right into virtual, which lent itself to a whole new way of like playing with tech and everything, which you don't have when you have when you have a stage, you have a live audience. That's a whole other world. But virtual is like, oh, okay, now I have all this tech to play with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can literally freeze, in the freeze frame and everything, and maybe
Mhm.
that's an anticipation to make people wait and want more,
Uh-huh.
So all
Yeah.
these little quirks and everything like that.
Yeah.
Do you ever find that when you are doing a virtual performance, that if you run into any of these technological things, maybe at first there was things that you couldn't think of what to do when you came across these technical hiccups, but do you feel now that you're seasoned enough that no matter what happens, you just go right through it?
Yeah, I think, for me, going into virtual was like, okay, how do I make the most of this?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because we're doing it in our home, and I'm in a tiny,
Right.
tiny place, right? And so we're doing it in our home. So my first act was, unmaking and making the bed, but
Oh
making
yeah.
it burlesque. So and so there are these like, for me, it's not so much the technical glitches because I haven't really had that much of an issue with technical glitches. Although I have played it a little safe. I will say, like, I did an act where I washed a car. I did the White Snake video
Yeah.
with the car, but I washed it instead of danced on it.
Yeah.
You can't do that on stage, right?
Right.
So for me, it was more like uh, using my creativity to make it bigger, you know? for a screen, but make it big. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's that philosophy of knowing your audience and using what you can to your advantage.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, for sure. And then this year, when we all decided to keep going with Burlesque and Chill, it was kind of like making a commitment of like really, really playing with the tech, because some people are great with tech, like that's their thing. And you can see, when they do their act, you're like, oh, you know tech. This is great. And so I'm still kind of trying to figure that out. The tech, like green screens, and how do I make this like really elaborate but not overwhelming, for a small screen. So that's, for me, is the challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not really that much tech here at Dan-A-Plooza. We just have different backdrops that we hang up to make it
Yeah.
look like we
Yeah,
are.
backdrops are a thing. I learned about those too. Because I only had like one backdrop, my curtain, right? That was
Oh
it.
yeah.
I'm like, how do I make this interesting? Oh, I can actually buy backdrops, or do different lighting styles and things like that. So that's been that's helped me grow as a dancer and a performer. Is the virtual realm has helped me grow as a performer, because I've had no choice but to grow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely important. We have maybe about 12 to 14 different backdrops that we have
Okay.
just to hang up, but this one's kind of nice because it's a little steampunk, and I feel like it plays in many different realms. Sometimes I just say it's sponsored by Coldplay.
I like the clock.
Yeah.
The clock's cool. Yeah.
So yeah, if we run into stuff, sometimes I just sing "Clocks" by Coldplay just to fix the issue.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go. So as far as moving forward in 2023, do you see yourself more still as a virtual performer or more of a live performer?
Gosh, that's hard. I kind of almost feel equally balanced. If I'm doing, virtual and live, I'm getting all of my needs met as a performer. So I don't want to stop doing virtual, because it's like I said, that it's really feeding my creative juices. So does live too, don't get me wrong. It's a totally different vibe. But I also need the audience, like I need the audience. So I'm getting different things out of both. So I don't want to let either of them go in any way. Yeah, I want to keep going with both of them equally, I think. Yeah.
And so I have this question because I've attended shows. So what does it mean to you when you see the different comments that come across the screen and the emojis? I don't know if you read them during the show or if you read them more after the show.
Oh, I read them all after the show. Just because I want to, when the show's happening, I want to be involved in the show, right? And watching
Right.
the other performers, and adding my input as well, and being participating. But then we'll always get the replay back, and the comment section will always be there. And I do like to scroll through it, and see, did they like me? But that one time I did do on our Burlesque and Chill, was one of the judge for the comment section.
Oh yeah.
So that was cool. But they were coming so fast and furious. It was really hard to keep
Yes.
up, especially you.
I
Like
I
one
some
zinger after another.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard because I'm like, what am I? Just emoji, and then I'm still thinking, just to bypass.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's that was fun, but definitely I like to see what people say after, when I have a chance to settle in and read everything. Yeah. I'm
Exactly. You
always I'm
can.
always pleased. People are very, very generous with their virtual applause. Yeah.
And that's what's important because then it helps you during that self reflection moment.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I mean, it kind of also like it lets you know like kind of what really worked. Like no one's going to say what didn't work. It's not going to happen. But you do know what really did work by the responses that you read. And I think that's I really appreciate that's there. Yeah. For real.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Did you have any inspirations that made you decide that you wanted to be a performer?
A performer in general or
Yeah, a performer in general or burlesque, if there was someone who you kind of
um
admired.
you know, a performer in general, again, like I'm one of those like I'm an ivy person. So I have my hands in a whole bunch of different things and I'm constantly spreading out, learning new things and doing new things. I'm not like a solid oak tree where I stay in one place and I grow up and I find that one thing and then I grow into that. I'm ivy, right? I just spread all over the place. And so for me, I'm constantly looking for new things to do. And with performing, I picked up the banjo at 42. I'd
Oh
never
wow.
played music before. I was like, I was inspired by Mumford and Sons. I want to learn that instrument. And I
Yeah.
learned it and joined a band, and there you have it. With burlesque, it was more like I'm seeing all these performers kind of just play around. And I didn't get truly inspired by anyone in particular. But as I go along, I get inspired by genres or performers in genres more so. So like Miss Tosh was my first mentor, like my fairy godmother burlesque, right?
Mhm,
And she was totally inspirational. But now I find all of my inspiration from like other BNC performers
mhm.
and collectives and people that I work with and dance with. Yeah, those are like the biggest inspiration for me, more so than like the big stars.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Um, this, we're having just someone who's raising the little noise. Excuse me, just one little second.
As they
Yeah.
do. Naughty kitty.
She's literally on the bag, and she was in a bag, and her feet were kicking out, and
That's a
this
great
is,
shot.
yeah, she was just looking at me, so I had to go and get her. But that was it. Do you wanna make an appearance? All right, we'll let you make a cameo.
Aw, she's so cute.
Okay, are
Aw.
you happy you got your screen time?
Is that what she likes? She likes to hang out on your shoulder?
Yeah. All
Oh.
right, we're getting your screen
Oh.
time. Say, this is Tilly. Say,
Uh,
I'm 6 and I love my dad.
obviously. I love him so much, I need all of his attention all the time.
Exactly. Exactly. She'll sometimes the newest thing is sometimes is because I've been doing yoga and I've been doing exercising. She's not a fan when I do the downward dog. Like I'll jump and she'll jump on my back. I go, look, I don't name the move. I'm just trying to call it downward cat, downward
Uh,
tiger.
it's like that yoga with goats.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like that, but with your cat. Except she claws on you.
But that's just how things go. But
Yes.
you can hear the crinkle, can't you?
It's not that bad. Yeah,
Okay.
it's
just
fine.
just looking at it. But so but as we are talking about all these different performers, and I actually wanted to go back because when you first said Ivy, I immediately got Poison Ivy, and I was thinking like kind of Uma Thurman, because of like your red hair and everything like
Uh-huh.
that.
Yeah, I don't have a poison ivy act, but maybe someday.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. I think that would be great. I know sometimes people they want me to be like the Riddler and do that kind of
Do what now?
the Riddler.
Oh yeah. See that would be cool. Like I'd like to do something that involved another performer. Like I did it virtually. I had my husband, I did a I don't know if you saw that one, but I did the Futurama act.
Yes, yes, yes.
Uh-huh. And I had my husband play whatever his name.
Bender.
Yeah, thank you. Bender. And it was great. It was fun. So I want to do more of that,
That's
you know,
awesome.
performances with
Yeah.
other
Are you
people.
are you a big Futurama fan or?
I am. We both are. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Uh, I've met Fry before.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, he I'll have to send you the clip if you want to see, but he did Ren and Stimpy voice. He did Doug.
Yeah. He does a lot. He's amazing.
Yes, and he
Yeah.
did Fry, and then he did the Professor. Good news,
Yeah.
bad news.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. He did a lot of those. He's great. That's one of the smartest shows on TV, I think. You know.
My favorite is Zap Brannigan. That's my favorite because he's so ridiculous.
So ridiculous. Yeah, such a classic character. Yeah.
I I love the episode when he's trying to seduce Leela, and he's like, "Look, my pajamas are made of velour," and like and like he instead of champagne, he calls it champagne. It's like there's no champagne left.
That's like that reminds me of Showgirls when she's like Versace,
Oh
I think
yes,
that's what she says
instead
instead
of
of
Versace.
Versace. Yeah,
Yeah.
Versace or whatever. And they're like Versace. Yeah.
But
No.
I met
Characters.
him, and then I met Lauren Tom, who plays Amy Wong.
Oh, okay. Is that at a local at a which
That was virtually when the Comic Cons were all shut down.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, so they
So
still did them virtually, the Comic Cons?
yeah, and
Oh,
that's where this started. Like I did those, and then I started doing my own show.
okay. Good for
But
you.
I am supposed to meet them in Columbus, Ohio, in person. It's Fry, Amy Wong, and then Hermes Conrad.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's exciting. Haven't I mean, I don't go to conventions really very often. Like I used to go to NAMM all the time,
Okay.
the big music one, but
Mhm.
I stopped, of course, stopped going pre-COVID, and then I just haven't been back because you get sick of that, you know. You get anthrax, you come home 2 days later, you're just sick in bed. And I'm just like, I'm just not ready to be that sick again,
Oh yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it's great show. Fry's my one of my favorite characters. Um, he when I talked to the actor, he said that he said he sounded very whiny and nasally when he was younger in his 20s, so he wanted to
Oh,
portray that in the character.
that makes sense. Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's exactly what he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, a whiny and nasally 20 something.
Yeah. He's like, let me show you. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's awesome. Oh, how
But
fun. Yeah.
yeah, I love all the different episodes. I like when they I think one of my favorites is the Santa Claus one where they're all afraid of Santa and he's a
Oh,
robot.
yeah. 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 We haven't watched it in a long time. I don't know what happened there, but we'll get back into it. But I do want to do that act again. I just have
Oh
to,
yeah.
if I'd like to do that act live. I just have to I'm not going to make my husband go on a stage, and that's not happening.
Yeah.
Virtually is one thing, but live is a whole other thing. So I'd have to find somebody to play Bender for me so Leela can give him a lap dance.
you, you need somebody like someone as Zoidberg to whoop, 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 and introduce yes introduce the act.
Actually my first inclination was to do Zoidberg,
Ah,
have him be the receiver. I just couldn't find the right costuming and It was
Oh
a little
yeah.
bit more challenging than I felt like dealing with. So, but the Bender costume was easy for me to get. So, yeah, that's
Yeah.
another thing when it comes to this. Like sometimes you just gotta throw stuff together and hope that it, sticks.
Well, let me know if you do that. I might be in the audience as Zap, and I think that would be fun.
That would be great. For sure. Yes. Yeah, yeah. I mean, tonight I get to do my Medusa act, so that's fun.
Did
That's what I'm really building on right now.
Yeah, did you have any kind of like as far as creating that character, did was that more like of a mythological influence or was it more like film?
No, it's more mythological. Yeah,
Okay.
so, we did BNC did mythical creatures a few weeks ago at 3 clubs, and we were all I did 2 acts. I did a harpy act and I did a Medusa act.
Oh,
And but the
alright.
Medusa act is the one I put like all of my energy into. And I love it. I want to keep doing it. So I'm doing it again tonight. And it just gives me the chance to kind of just every time I do it, just make it better or different or somehow. So because I think like for me, I want to find something, an act that people go, I want you for this. I want you to
Yes.
perform this for us. That's what I want. So there's a few acts that I have where I'm like, okay, I'm going to put a lot of effort and rehearsal into this because I'd like to create a signature. And I can't determine what a signature is. Only other people who want to hire me can determine what a signature is. So that's what I'm putting out into the universe.
Definitely. Idea, if you do it virtually, maybe you could turn somebody into stone.
I know.
And they
I
could freeze, you
know.
know?
I know. That would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool. I haven't decided if I'm going to bring it virtually yet, just because um, uh, it just hasn't come up for that to happen. But if it does, if a virtual show comes up that will hold that act, then I'm not opposed to it at all. Yeah, and I could do some cool things virtually, like you said. Incorporate other turning someone into stone, or I can even have it like in the backdrop, of like
Mhm.
I remember I watched a performance where a performer, Cora Blimey, did this great act where she was Mary Poppins. Did you see that?
Yes.
I mean, come on, right? Like, and so the screen behind her was the penguins dancing and the
Yes.
whole thing, and then she's dancing, and then they're shooting money at her. Like somebody created this thing for her to put as her backdrop. It was brilliant. That's what I'm talking about. Like the tech savvy people who are able to create these really amazing um, virtual acts. So I'd like to do more of that. If I could do something like that with Medusa, that would be fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, for
And
real.
and and do you see, yourself, like, kind of playing, like, certain fandoms, like, for certain performances?
Certain what?
Fandoms?
Like,
Like, fan bases, like, that are, like, Star Wars or, like
oh yeah, I mean, for real. Yeah, that would be cool. Like I wouldn't mind doing uh acts that would fit for like a convention or something like that. That would be really cool too. I know there are a couple of troops who do convention shows. So it's always a possibility. But like the Futurama act, for example, would be cool.
Oh, yeah.
You know. Uh, but yeah, absolutely. I think that would be a lot of fun. For a lot of people who are like hardcore into that
Yes.
character, that would be
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
I have seen clips of Star Wars burlesque, and I always think that that's interesting,
They're great. They're great. Yeah.
es especially when
There's
people play the droids. These are the droids we're looking for.
there is Stargirls Burlesque does uh a great show. And I haven't actually seen them live, but I have seen, like you have seen clips, and I'm just like, that is awesome. Like the costuming is exquisite and the choreography is lovely. And so yeah, that would be fun too. All of it. I mean, there's just so many opportunities and so much. You can go anywhere with it. You can go anywhere with burlesque. That's what entices me, is that you can do anything. And I went to the Hollywood Burlesque Festival, and the winner of Mr. Hollywood, his name's Faggoty Randy, and he did a butthole act. And when I saw that act, and it was stunning as well. So it's like butthole act. That's, very cheeky. No pun intended. But it was also very exquisitely done. It was just beautiful, but it was cheeky and very naughty. And I was just like, any thoughts I had about holding myself back or reserving myself in any way just went right out the fucking window. I was just like, I got done. There's no ceiling anymore as far as that's concerned. So actually that was inspirational, really inspirational for me, because I like to be a little dirty. I like to be a little naughty. I'm not a classic burlesque performer. I like to, I like my pasties to actually not be the reveal. They happen, but that's not the finality of my act usually. So when I see somebody, showing their butt plug on stage in a venue like that, I'm like, I mean, I'm not doing that, because, I think men can typically get away with some things that women also can't, generally speaking. But it definitely blew the lid off of what I thought I could get away with and what I thought I couldn't get away with.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think I've heard of I know that they did stuff in Pittsburgh, but I believe one time they did Saturday morning cartoons, and they took like popular ones, like that. Someone was Gadget from Rescue Rangers, and
Yeah. There's a Saturday morning cartoons one here too. I don't remember who puts it on, but there is one. There's great cartoon burlesque, or nerdlesque, right?
Yes.
So that's all in the nerdlesque genre. So there's these great. I went to see a Nick Cage burlesque once. That oh my god, it's just so fucked up in such an awesome way. Every act was from a different Nick Cage movie. This is brilliant. What the fuck lesque, I think they put that on, if I'm not mistaken. Just brilliant stuff. That's what I like. I love the crossover between like really nerdy and classic, and I like the idea of kind of like just melting them together.
Definitely. I think I remember, I want to say that I think her name was Heather, but she did Helga from Hey Arnold for the Burlesque and Chill.
Yeah, she did do that. Who was that? Oh gosh, no, it was gosh, who was that? I know, Heidi.
Heidi. I know I said Heather. Heidi. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was Heidi, and she did an awesome Helga act.
Yeah.
That was a lot, that was a lot of fun. I think it was the same show that I did the Futurama act.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, there's some good stuff out there, man. So I mean, you were talking earlier about inspiration. Like that's what I'm talking about. When I go to local shows and I see local performers, I mean, the big ones inspire me too, don't get me wrong, but local performers like really get my juices flowing. Yeah.
Yep. Is there anything else you want to say or promote on Dan-A-Plooza as we wrap things up?
No, just come see the virtual show with Burlesque and Chill for sure. It's going to be totally dedicated to the 80s, and so that'll be a lot of fun. And if you're in LA, then definitely come out to to the Three Clubs rock and roll show, Burlesque and Chill. It'll be, and it's to live band too. So all the live Burlesque and Chill shows are to live music. So that's always interesting.
It
You know,
really is, and I
yeah.
think it definitely sets the mood and the tempo.
Yeah. I mean, with us, and it's, it's a whole other type of inspiration because you're kind of really playing with what the musicians are giving you in the moment.
Hmm.
So that's brings its own host of like challenges, but and like new ways to play. And I always like new ways to play. So yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I'd like to thank my guest, Miss Juicy Jones. Dan-A-Plooza will be back on April 16th. We will have 3 guests, so stay tuned for that. And everyone, take care and have a good night. And